Hi, folks. This is Ken with AI Chatter. We're back for another episode this week. Lots of news. We have some acquisitions in the AI space, the generative AI space. A couple different models released, and the team that you're about to meet was at a state in the east, state government in the east, doing a generative AI workshop. So that and more. Stay tuned. Hi, folks. Ken's back. I think you all know me by now. I'm a data scientist, actually an economist turned data scientist, turned generative AI guy. Now, I guess that's popular. So we'll go with that. Marty's here. Marty, introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, Marty Galp. Been doing this data science now for, holy cow, 30 years. I'm getting old. And that's not Mitchell next to me in the window. What's going on?
Mitchell. Canon, good to
Hey,
have you.
yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you. Canon Pattillo. By way of quick introduction, I'm coming from a decade in the startup space, data scientist by requirement, pretty scrappy, early stage pre-revenue companies. Prior to that, I was in the public sector consulting space for a while, and prior to that, I spent a decade in the Navy. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, good to have you.
Welcome.
And baptism by fire. You spent this week with Marty and I at a big state government agency, going through basics of AI and then use cases around it, and then we even, of course, touched generative AI. So, what'd you think? What'd you think was interesting? What'd you see?
Oh man, what I found most interesting was um, discussing use cases after we'd given the state some useful frameworks and some language to discuss the use cases that they were pursuing. I think they had a lot of great ideas, and more importantly, we kept bringing them back to business value. Right? There's so many cool things that we could do. The fun part is the hard part, which is bringing them, to the things that matter the most. And it was awesome. And I know we got a lot of great feedback, especially on the education piece. Just
I
great
thought
feedback.
some of the fun things that came out of it, I know, are topics that we're interested in touching on, which is extreme personalization and using generative AI to do some of that. In fact, several uses came up to use structured data and generative AI to weave together information from disparate sources. And so that was a really for a customer service application, which I thought is a perfect example, and something that can be knocked out without all that much effort, and really kind of weaves together a story far better than, say, even having tables, right? Because you get qualitative information back, which is human readable. We had other applications that were also new ones I had never thought of before, of using generative AI to on the fly change the reading level of feedback to an individual.
Yeah.
I guess I thought about it in the health delivery space, like how would you tell a kid, inform a kid about a medical condition, right, versus an elderly person or a person with a PhD or something. And so there was an application that was kind of like that. But Marty, you did the lion's share of the heavy lifting on the education. What do you think hit the best?
I think just honestly keeping it simple and sharing with them our experience in the space that I mean, gosh, between the three of us on the line here, we've got 50 years of experience talking to all different kinds of audiences about data science, about AI, and helping them understand it's not that hard. It's not that mysterious. It's like we just peel back the curtain and you get to see how the card trick is done, and you figure out, oh, it's pretty simple when it comes down to it. Now, the devil's in the details, of course, but to get them comfortable enough to say, hey, we can do this. We can use these ideas.
um, one of the fun things I saw was actually how some of our own folks that are primarily a data integration type people or program management type people, they've now started to be exposed to some of the outputs of generative AI, and now they're seeing use cases more quickly. And since they're embedded, they know value far better than we can.
Yep. And they know
But
the
it takes
data so much better than
prompt.
we do, so they know what to do. They know where the pain points are because they're living them day to day and managing that program.
So, Canon, you must be yeah. I mean, what was your take on that? Like how quickly different people pick up on these value of generative AI.
Oh man. Well, I think it all comes from their experiences, right? We all start with the pain points that either we know from the business or the pain points that we experience every day. I know in my personal life, I've got applications that I use every day to make me a little bit faster, a little bit smarter, and they're different from the applications that my wife uses. We could talk about my 6-year-old daughter too. I mean, she's starting to get exposed to some of these things, and topics for another day. I don't know what the world looks like when she's 12, 6 years from now, right?
Right.
It's going to be something else. But yeah, I
Well,
mean, what we saw.
we were just talking the other day about you brought up extreme segmentation, extreme personalization, which you could easily see, right? Different levels of content. Pick your own adventure, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
wasn't it Big? Wasn't it the movie Big? And then they had the coloring book that like can they change like the ending? Am I mixing up my movies? Wasn't that at the ending of Big?
I don't
I,
remember that.
They did
I
that.
don't,
I do know that one of the latest Jurassic Park kid cartoons on Netflix has Choose Your Own Adventure.
Maybe
really?
that's what
Yeah.
it was entirely possible. I'm getting them mixed up. But Canon, what do you think? Like we get to a world where everybody's got their own content. How do we find common ground to have discussions? Frankly,
We talked a little bit about that, and I don't have the answer. I I start with my personal life. So if there's a topic that my wife and I both want to explore together or separately, um, I don't know what that looks like in the future, because today we can listen to the same podcast, watch the same movie, whatever that is, and then reflect on the same foundation. If that
Mhm.
foundation is different in the future because something is tailored to me, tailored to her, um, I don't know how that conversation goes. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. I
Yeah.
don't know
yeah.
what it looks like.
Well, even now, I don't know if you read books together with your spouse or anything, with your kids. My kids are a little older, so they're in high school and college, and I try to read the books they read in literature. And you read some of those books, even the same book, same source material can be interpreted so many different ways. And now we're going to change that completely to say, hey, I'm going to give you, Marty, a book that's more personalized to what you like, and Canon, you're going to get a different book. It's going to be the same theme or same genre, but to Ken's point, we're going to have so many differences now that where's the commonality? Where can we come together?
Yeah, look at a lot of these Netflix documentaries that pseudo intellectuals love to talk about. All right, and I don't mean to sound like a total like self-aggrandizing here, but I watch a lot of them, enough of them to kind of go, okay, give me more, give me more, give me like, and of course they make it for a certain level, right, or a certain background, but I really want the annoying economist viewpoint associated with all of these things, right? Not just the rosy picture, the thing that's politically charged. It's right, like you know, you watch the little bit of the convention this past week, and like all the channel's commentary left me unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Like all bad. So I don't know. I think it can be a neat opportunity going forward to have material that meets you where you're at.
So Ken, on that, okay, so this is stream of thought, but um, if I didn't have time to sit on the couch and watch the convention, I think that the technology probably exists it does exist to watch the convention for me and feed me the bullets that it thinks
Mhm.
is important for me.
Yeah.
Same source material, right? Marty doesn't have time either. He's mowing the lawn with his earbuds in, and he's getting the bullets that are important to him. Same convention.
But we
Heck,
could
I
get
mean,
totally different bullets because yours comes
yeah,
from a certain perspective of what you lean towards. Mine may come from a different perspective. And I mean, to what Ken said, if you looked at MSNBC versus Fox News, how they covered the convention, it was like, are you people watching the same thing I am? It was just ridiculous. At
yeah.
one point it's a love fest. At the other point, it's a wow, look, bad man saying bad things again. And it's crazy. You don't know what the truth is anymore.
Well, I do think it's with and those the readers that or listeners that haven't played around with Chat GPT, this is a lot of what this is done in prompting, right? So
Yep.
I give an excerpt and say, summarize this as a in an 8th grade reading level, 12th grade reading level, 3rd grade, and you can twist all these things, right? And inevitably, some things are going to be de-emphasized in certain circumstances, and that's where some of this problem kind of comes. And if you listen to the politician, they might talk a lot about illegal immigration, for instance, and that may not show up in your summary if you're not if that's not the thing that's high on your list, like say
Exactly.
Exactly.
crime related stuff. Well, very interesting. So how
Ken,
about yeah, go ahead.
can let's come full circle back to your back to the state and some of their use cases and the personalization there, right? Because that's important for us as we think about, once we've got the use case and the value, we've racked and stacked the use cases, and now it's time to talk about solutioning. It's important for us to put left and right bounds on what comes back to the individual. Such, context is important for me, probably very annoying for my wife and everybody else because maybe I talk too much. But it's very important for me. And at the end of the day, if we're talking about the DMV, maybe I need something that says, "Hey, Canon, you need to go fill out this form. Here's the reason why, and here's what it connects to." Whereas, like Marty, Ken, you might just need like a link to the form. You don't need any context. But we got to put left and right bounds on what comes back to them. And to be honest, I haven't thought that through very deeply. I don't know if you guys have.
A lot of user testing is going to be required for all this stuff, and then a constant monitoring, so that it doesn't unknowingly go off the rails. So hey, we had a lot of fun, and I think we probably covered probably enough meat for one day. So we'll let everybody go, but I definitely wanted to have 2 shout outs. One is to our friends at OneStream for going public next week, which is a really cool thing.
Yep.
And so
Congratulations.
we're excited with our partnership with OneStream, and we want that to, and we're excited for it to continue. And we have an excellent team that does a lot of OneStream implementation work. The other one's a shout out to my buddies at Brev.dev. So I met the Brev guys at the Nvidia conference this year, and 2 days ago they sold their company to Nvidia. Long before they ran out of money, so most of these sales are run out of money sale. But I think those guys made a cool move and are obviously joining a successful organization. So with that, we will see you all next week. And Canon's going to be a long-term fixture on here, I can tell. All right. So
Yeah, welcome to the team, Canon.
welcome to the team,
Thanks,
Cannon.
guys.
Bye.
Take care.